So now that I have my study site selected, I've simplified my data, I'm going to do some geoprocessing, and we're going to go through two different geoprocessing types. One is to create a buffer, and the other is to intersect that buffer with the census data. My goal is I want to know how many kids of elementary age are within a mile of a school, of these 4 schools. Okay, so to create a buffer, I'm going to go up to geoprocessing, and I'm going to choose the buffer tool. And if your tool help isn't on, it's really nice. You can choose, click that and you'll get more information, or you can make sure you open the box here. So the input feature is those points. What is it I want to buffer? And I could buffer a line, I could buffer anything. I can do that by navigating to my folder. And I'm looking in here, and I'm looking in here, and in here, and in here. So I could choose my study schools from here, or because they're in my table of contents, I can use the drop-down menu and just pick my study schools from there. So I'm going to buffer my study schools, and I want a 1 mile buffer. And then I'm going to take the defaults for this. Choose OK. Oh, and I have to name it. So again, if I don't choose an output, this is going to my default geodatabase in ArcGIS, and I need it to go in my folder with my other data. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to navigate to my folder. I'm going to say, look in here. And I want to call this, what do I want to call this? I want to call it school buffer. So I'm going to call it school buffer, and it's a really good idea to put the distance, because I may want to create different school buffers. So I'm going to call it 1 mile. Actually, I might even change that to buff underscore 1 mile. Okay, choose that. And then I'm going to I'm going to take the rest of the defaults and say OK. And I think it's done. It's completed. I'm going to close that. And I now see my buffers around my school.